Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm glad you were able to make it in this 6-degree below weather. Thank you for coming, and thank you everyone who's invited us into your homes on YouTube. So, it's good to be here. Cold or not, just got back from Florida 2 days ago. So this is quite a contrast. So anyways, I'd like to welcome everyone to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, a Center for Conscious Living. Is anyone here for the first time? Okay. So we're an independent organization, and we honor and explore consciousness and all paths to the divine. Next week, we will have a 9 o'clock service with Inga Ulmar, and our 10:30 motivational service will be led by Aaron Berry. And today, we're going to have Christine Day at 10:30. So stick around for her, okay? She's been with us a long, long time and has a wonderful message. Okay. So today's theme is be here now, okay? And it's also a movement and meditation service. So that you know what to expect, I'm going to be speaking for about 8 minutes. We'll do movement for another 5. I'll speak a little more for 8, a little more movement. And then we'll end up with a little more movement and some meditation, okay? So it's a combination. And we do this because we learn sometimes through our minds and our ears, and sometimes we actually learn by doing. When we do the movements, we can assimilate it. We're doing our work. You're not just sitting there listening to me talk. So when we think about be here now, I'm going to break it apart. Be, well, it's to live, right? It's to live. It's to exist. It's to really focus on life. Here, what's the word here? Okay, well, you're here, not there, not then. You're here now, kind of like in school roll call. Here. You're standing up and you're being counted. Now, the word now has this sense of immediacy, you know? When you hear a mom yelling to their little kid, get here now, mom really needs it, right? She really, really means it, okay? So there's an immediacy that's to the word now. So spiritually, when we add that all together, and it's be here now, it's a profound presence, okay? A profound awareness and consciousness to live, recognize, and experience where you are now and make the most of it. Because what we do today, right now, is what matters the most. So you're here right now. And hopefully you will take with it what you need now, okay? So there's a story that took place in Billings, Montana, in a car accident. And the policeman showed up and the firemen showed up, and there was a lot of commotion. And this one family was okay. There was a husband, wife, and a little girl. And the husband and wife had to go off and take care of business because there was a lot of stuff happening with the other car and whatever. There was ambulances, just a lot of stuff. But the little girl was a little agitated and a little bored. So the fireman reached into his truck, had a book, a children's book, grabbed the girl by the hand, sat on the curb, and read the book to her, focused in that moment, her on that book, while there's all this commotion going on. And so he was there for her. The firefighter really didn't have a role in this thing because there wasn't really a fire. But he was able to really make a difference with that little girl, and also for the parents to distract the child from all the other things that was happening. I mean, that takes quite a bit of focus to be able to do that. And so there are so many moments in our lives when we could reach out to other people and do something like that. And interestingly enough, more and more fire stations or groups are starting to have books, games in their trucks for when they encounter children to be able to distract them if there is an opportunity. So I think it's really kind of a very, very cool concept. Thich Nhat Hanh was a gentleman out there who specialized, if I had to say, a very spiritual man who specialized in being here now. He wrote many books, Present Moment, Wonderful Moment, lots of books. He talked about savoring every moment of every day. And he passed away this month at age 95. And he said, eternity belongs to those that live in the present. Eternity belongs to those who live in the present. So if we live in the present moment and we make it beautiful, we can remember those moments for our eternity. Okay? So, how wonderful it would be if we remember to take pictures not with our cameras, but with our minds. So we can keep those pictures in our minds forever, for eternity. All we have to do, really, is to stay awake and be present, okay? And don't let our past or our future or our expectations ruin the now, and sometimes the now that is a surprise, the now that is unexpected. So when I was in my 20s, I wanted to go to New York. So I took a train to New York with a friend and just really anticipated all of the excitement of New York, you know, all the great restaurants and the bars and the cool people and the Broadway shows. So took a train and landed in Grand Central Station. Now reminded, I was in my 20s, so there were no cell phones then. I had no app to tell me what the weather was, although you could see that it was snowing. So we arrived in Grand Central Station. But something seemed odd. It wasn't like it was on TV. We did have TV back then anyways. And, there was some comings and goings, but it wasn't like hordes and hordes of people. And then we walked out with our little roly-poly bags, always travel light, is my motto. And there was no traffic. We were outside of Grand Central Station, and there was no traffic. The ground was covered with, I don't know how tall the snow was. They'd had an early snow. New York wasn't prepared for it. It was in the fall sometime. And it had been lightly plowed, you could tell, several hours ago, but not recently. And the cars weren't getting through. And it was like, oh, this isn't what I really expected. But with our little roly-polies, we trudged it through the snow, and thank goodness the hotel was in walking distance of Grand Central Station. But, I got to experience New York in probably a way that most people never have. It was beautiful. It was quiet. You could hear a pin drop, and you could see so much, experience so much. You could notice each and every building as we were walking to the hotel. Now, we took a nap and woke up, and there was more and more activity. But then it felt like Minnesota, because then what we saw were what we see in Minnesota, right? People getting out of their cars to push the car in front of them, to push the car in front of them. So there was this whole sense of community that existed in New York that I never thought of that existed, just like it does every place else. It's not just a place for Broadway plays and restaurants and bars. It's a very special place as well. So that picture will always remain in my mind. I don't even remember what Broadway shows we saw, but I remember that picture. So the problem is, we're all here and now, but rarely do our minds stay there. We're always planning, and we got to do it. We got to plan to survive. But we let all of that other stuff just get in the way with being present. And we take care of those needs that we have in day-to-day life take over. And we let a bunch of junk sort of also take over. And that's why we have these spiritual themes, to remind us what we intellectually know. We know we got to be here now. We know we got to be more present. But it reminds us, they help remind us of what we should make more of a point of trying to do. So I'm going to invite you all to stand up. We're going to do our first movement. And so you're going to want to spread out a little bit so in a social distanced way for those of you that aren't, cohabitating families. Okay. So I always start out with an exercise to get rid of what doesn't serve you. So first I just invite you just to take some deep breaths. Just center yourself. Stand with your feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, in a strong stance. A strong stance. Take some deep breaths in and out. And now, both hands up, fists made. We're going to beat on a little bit those things that don't serve us. We're going to just pound them away, okay? Take one fist and punch. The other fist and punch. And we're going to do this a dozen times or so. And think about those things that get in your way and punch them away. Punch them away. In Qigong, it's also about getting rid of stuck energy. And stuck energy is accumulated anger, fear, shame, doubt, guilt, regret, and on and on. Think about and get rid of what happened this morning, what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what happened in your childhood. Just punch it away. And if you'd like, with the opposite leg, okay, just think about it so you don't, and kick, kick, kick. And as strong as you feel, you could kick higher, but if you feel a little off balance, kick low. Or just do a heel to heel. However you want to do it, whatever your comfort level is, keep your balance, but kick it away and punch it away. And move that energy. Wake that up. Wake up your now. Stop living in the past. Stop thinking about the future. Be here. Be now. Punch it away. Punch it away. Now still punching, but with your firm stance. Now punch faster and faster and faster and faster and all around. Okay, in a semicircle, all around, because you are beating it all away from you. You are clearing your energy. You are clearing that energy field so you can let more come in. Once you get rid of what no longer serves you, more love can come in. More joy can come in. Clear the way, because there is so much beauty to be had here and now, here and now, here and now, here and now, here and now. And take those arms and just side to side. Slap yourself side to side. Clearing your body from head to toe of toxins. You're also from side to side slapping your kidneys, which also clear toxins from your body. And just feel all of that stuckness going away. Remembering to breathe. Oh, okay. Come to a stop. Take 2 fingers from either hand. Place it on either side of your spine, just under your skull. And breathe and center and focus your entire nervous system from your skull down through to your spine. Focusing every nerve in your body. Focusing it in health, wellness. Now. I invite you to have a seat. Oh. So the Dalai Lama said, there are only 2 days when nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, the other is tomorrow. So today is the day that we can fully live, breathe, believe, do. Okay? And use our gifts. So during the height of COVID, our first wave, and also, which happened to be the year in Minneapolis of quite a bit of civil unrest, there was a little, small, locally owned bookstore. Has one owner and some very, very devoted employees. And they focus on just a lot of just really, I don't know, books that are spiritual, a lot of books about indigenous individuals. And the owner is a book writer herself. And they were thinking, how do we survive now in this era of COVID when everything is being shut down? So the owner and the employees thought about their gifts and their passions, and they wanted to make a difference, but also survive. So there was a vow made that every employee would be kept in this bookstore. It wasn't a lot of employees, but enough. And they applied to become an essential organization, an essential service. Now, a bookstore, would you really consider that to be essential? It's not food, it's not, clothing, it's not water, it's not hand sanitizer. But yeah, they were granted that status. Because we didn't want people to sit around on their computers all year, right? Reading some high quality books made a difference. So they doubled down and they accumulated books and got books and advertised them that were about racial diversity, cultural diversity, indigenous individuals and culture. Their goal was to educate while we were going through all of this turmoil in our community. And the books were flying off the shelves. They just couldn't keep them enough. They were so busy. They were more successful then than pre-COVID, because we all became a little more mindful during that time and introspective while we were in quarantine. Not all of us. I mean, many of us had these roller coasters of emotions going on. But they were able to accomplish all of their goals by looking at the needs now, being relevant now, and accomplishing what needed to be done now, back then. So it's not that some people are lucky. It's that some people are looking. They've got their eyes open and they're aware. They've got their minds open and they're aware. And when we focus, that's when we can be our most productive. So Thich Nhat Hanh also said, the miracle is not to walk on water, but to walk on this earth. And he does a lot with walking meditation. And you walk on this earth, you feel the earth. You feel that miracle of being alive and the beauty that it has, the humor that it has, the tears that it has. So this month, there were quite a few of our longtime comedians that have passed. Okay, Louis Anderson, Bob Saget, Betty White. Okay, we've also had some great comedians like Scott Hansen, but we've had really quite a turnover in some of the folks that we have known in comedy. And to be a comedian, when you think about it, they were here now, they're then. You had to be a comedian. You have to kind of make yourself vulnerable. You have to read the audience. You have to be able to pull yourself out of yourself and to be able to say something that's funny and relevant. Okay? And each of them overcame things of their past. We all have stuff. Or stereotypes, and were able to be present for others and help make others laugh. Betty White said, during the entertainment era in my day, women just had to show up and be pretty. And she said, but it was so much more fun to get a laugh. And so she chose to work as a comedian, not as a wallflower. So she really, put herself out there, and she was a very successful comedian, and also was able to contribute a lot to others. She spoke a lot about animal rights, gay rights, civil rights. Louis Anderson, Louis Anderson was a big guy, if you remember, and Evan worked with him in one of his first jobs in a home for troubled children. And so if you need anyone to handle a unruly kid, it was Louis Anderson. I mean, if anybody was sat on by Louis Anderson, you were going to be controlled, right? So, he was an everyday person just like us. He had an everyday job, but he slowly got into comedy. And he had to overcome being a child of an alcoholic. And so one of the things that he did is he wrote a book called Dear Dad. And it was letters to his alcoholic father. So that was his way of working through that pain that he had with his alcoholic father. While he was also then, do you remember the role? He played his mother in comedy on TV. Okay? And his mother was always sort of the peacemaker. And so he found his own self with his own comedy, but then he also played his mother too and was able to see the lightness within all of the darkness that happened in his childhood. And so many people could relate to that dichotomy of how you can have crap in your life, but be here now for yourself and for other people. Okay, so Rumi said, the breeze at dawn has a secret to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. Okay? Dawn has a secret to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. Because we're really reborn each and every day. We just forget to connect to it. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to do the next movement. Same thing. But this will be a little calmer. Since we've gotten rid of what no longer serves us, we're just going to connect. Same stance, feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, remembering to take those breaths. Deep breaths in and out. And slowly raise your hands to the sun. To the sun, Father God, the light, your ancestors, connect with them. Be here now with them. Slowly bring your hands down, palms down, to the top of your head. And hold it there. Hold it still. Calm any excess thinking. Keep that mind in the present. Heal it. Thank that beautiful mind of yours. Move those hands from your head slowly to your heart. Feel that beating heart. Open that heart, making it vulnerable to love, friendship, good circulation, health, light. Down to the belly. Breathe into that belly. Calm that fire in the belly. Feel safe, secure. Slowly to the knees. Just thanking those old knees for being there. Heal them. Care for them. They're precious. And if you can make it down, and if you have to bend your knees to do so, see if you can touch Mother Earth. And if you can't quite touch Mother Earth, just point your palms down to Mother Earth or wave to her. But connect in some way. Mother Earth that feeds us all, grows food and nurtures us. Just connect with her and thank her for all that she gives us. Now slowly run your hands up the back of your legs as you slowly come up. And stop at your back. Both sides. Thanking your kidneys, your adrenal glands, but also healing yourself from any anger, being grateful for being safe, secure, and whole. And hands back to the heart. And give love to yourself. Thank yourself. Be present with yourself. I invite you to have a seat. So, nothing appears until it appears in time. And when it appears in time, it quickly disappears. So nothing's the same as it was. That doorway, yes, is there, but the chip on the paint wasn't there last week. It's a different door frame now. So everything changes. Everything that exists in some ways is impermanent. So nothing can truly, really be held onto. Yet we waste so much of our lives trying to hold on to things that we really can't hold on to anymore. And so letting go is a huge challenge for us. Now I'm going to talk about two extremes. I mentioned being in Florida, and I happened to visit the Navy SEAL Museum. And I didn't know that much about them. Here you have these men, these people in the service that undergo just amazing amount of training, okay? Time and effort. They're highly trained, and they are trained to accomplish the impossible. And they have what's called Hell Week. And basically they get, 4 hours of sleep a day, and they have to be in motion every single day, doing all kinds of things, plunging down to the depths of the ocean, swimming miles and miles in the ocean, rescuing each other, pulling each other up onto boats out of the ocean, charging things, getting away from things, tactically planning. They use their minds, their bodies to the utmost degree. Okay? They have to be absolutely there during that training. They're pushed emotionally, physically, and they're dependent on others. Okay, so there's some real teamwork here. They call them their plunge buddies, I guess. And there's a sign when you enter and leave that says, yesterday was the easy day. Knowing that they still might have to go into battle. And you don't exactly know what you're going to encounter then. So you go into this training and you go into these situations, and how can you tightly hold on to your life not knowing what you were going to get into, but you've got your buddies that you've been trained to rescue and work with in a cooperative way. It's a real dichotomy of being able to let go and hold on at the same time. So we as humans have this unbelievable capacity, really, to be present and to let go. We don't have to all become Navy SEALs, to do that and to learn that. But just taking a little bit from that and applying it to some of our everyday life is something that's worth thinking about. So, being here and now just isn't sort of about this mindfulness and, just looking at how beautiful the birds and the bees are, but it is about going deeper, okay? And also remembering to face our demons. And if we're in hiding for some reason, to come out of hiding, to be authentic. Because this is the time, while we are still alive here on this earth, to be you, to be the authentic you. Ram Dass has said, our needs reduce our true being of spirit, and identifying with our desires is imprisoning if we hold on to our desires. If we can be at peace at having what we don't want, then we're in the optimum position to get what we do want. But we have to be less attached. And what are we most attached to is our life and our freedom, right? And we don't realize that until it's about to be taken away. Okay? We realize that when we're given a terminal disease sentence. We realize it when we're given a jail sentence. But we don't have to wait for that. I've been watching the Kim Potter trial, actually listen to it every single day. And I can't imagine what she must be going through right now. It was a terrible, terrible accident. A terrible accident. And how can she not be sitting in that jail cell living the moment of that gunshot every single day? Or conversely, thinking of what life is going to be like when she gets out. But how can you be here now when you're there in a prison cell? I mean, it's a really tough thing. But the good thing is, no matter what, our mind and our spirit and our soul can never be locked up. Okay? So Nelson Mandela was a perfect one that spoke about all of that. But, when it's dark is when we can actually see the most stars. You talk about the darkness of the day, and that's when we see the light. And sometimes we need that before we can see the light. And consciousness can be a way out of pain. And in that consciousness, we move sometimes from being the participant to the observer. And so even in her situation, she has that potential to be an observer, to observe herself, to discover herself. We all have that potential to go inward and realize and see that God within us. So I ask you to come on up, and let's do our Qigong exercise, our last movement exercise. Again, same stance, feet slightly apart, socially distanced from each other, knees slightly bent. Give yourself room. And we're going to slowly raise our arms. And put one foot slightly ahead of you and laterally, so you're balanced. And just move your arms in a swimming-like position. And in Qigong, what you're doing is clearing energy and bringing clean energy around you and through you. And the next time, when your hands are out, put your palms up, and instead of going around, bring your palms back to you. Bringing love, energy, the goodness that is in this world now to you. Now. Now you're going to pivot and do this on the other side. Same thing. Remembering to breathe. Now with your hands out, same movement as before, sweep around you. By doing both sides, you're balancing yourself, yin and yang energies, male, female energy, balancing yourself, and clearing whatever stuck, and surrounding yourself with light. Okay, back to center. Those arms out, with your chest out, opening your heart, and bringing love back in. Open your arms, opening your heart to the love of the universe. pushing your love out and harnessing it. Be present with all that you love. Now we're going to take those hands, put them by your belly, one hand in front of the other. And you're going to slowly move those hands up and down in a circle. So when one hand is in front of the other, make that circle. Up and down. Balancing energies from top to bottom, from your skull to your toes. And as your hands scan your body, feel every part of your body that your hands are scanning. This is you focusing on you. Your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit. Your body. Okay. All balanced now. You're going to bring those hands to a stop and have your hands a few inches apart and roll your hands like a ball. That energy that you've created, that great energy of love that you have gathered. You're gathering a lot of it right now in your hands. You've gathered it from your ancestors, the heavens, Mother Earth, yourself, this ball of love. Hold that ball. Bless it for being here. Slowly raise those hands. Give that ball up to the universe. And feel your love expand. Hands slowly down to your heart. Give thanks to yourself and love. And I encourage you to have a seat. We're going to do our meditation now. And then we'll be in silence for a little bit. And then I'll ring the chimes. And I invite you after that to open your eyes, because there'll be a YouTube video with the song that might be kind of fun. So find your place that you feel most comfortable in meditating. I like sitting with my feet flat on the ground and my palms up, sometimes touching my thumb with my middle finger. If I'm not speaking, I sometimes put the tongue to the roof of my mouth, whatever is comfortable. If you're an experienced meditator, you know it feels right for you. And let's take a few breaths. In through the nose, circulating through your lungs, and out your mouth. Several breaths like that make your way from your nose all the way through your lungs and your entire circulatory system. And those breaths light you up. And feel and see that light sitting there by your heart. That soul, that light, that spirit of you. Feel that white light. That white light of energy and beauty that you are. And along with that, we cleared the exteriors of our body earlier. So imagine your mind, yellow light. Your heart, on the exterior, blue light. Your abdomen, red light. And they all combine into this beautiful, bright, bold magenta outside. Your white light inside, you glowing magenta outside. And this beautiful, cold, sunny winter day, the sun shining on you here and now. Just be with yourself and the sun, your spirit, and your ancestors and all who love you here and now. On this heavenly day.
all the clouds blew away. Got no trouble today with anyone. Smile on your face. I live only to see. It's enough for me, baby. It's enough for me. Oh, heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. Tomorrow may rain with sorrow. Here's a little time we can borrow. Forget all our troubles in these moments so few. Oh, we could right now the only thing that all that we really have to do is have ourselves a heavenly day. Lay here and watch the trees sway. Oh, can't see no other way. No way, no way. Heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. No one at my shoulder, bringing me fears. Got no clouds up above me, bringing me tears. Got nothing to tell you, I got nothing much to say. Only I'm glad to be here with you on this heavenly, 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 heavenly day. Oh, all the trouble gone away. Oh, for a while anyway, for a while anyway. Heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day, heavenly day. Oh, heaven
So I invite you to stand up, and we're going to do our closing circle, but we're not going to touch. We're going to keep a big distance from each other. But if we want to form some sort of a circle, keep your distance, but so at least a couple of feet away from those outstretched hands, but still exchanging energy in a circle. Still exchanging energy in a circle. Reaching out and knowing with your left hand you're going to send out energy around the circle, and with your right hand you're going to receive it. And you're going to do that while we are standing here in gratitude. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, ancestors, all who love us, thank you. Thank you for now. Thank you for this heavenly day and being able to be present here and now. And when we walk out of these doors, let us remember that. And let us be present now for every person we encounter, every living being, and Mother Nature herself. Aho. Thank you. Thank you.